Before I begin the video, I will remind you to please click like if you like my content and subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, and more importantly, go to our website and send us your email address to become a VIP that we can send you announcements and VIP benefits that we'll think of as we go along. So thank you very much, and let's go on. Hi, I'm miltonchang of Bonsai Heirloom, and today I will go over our chapter 7 of the Bonsai 101, making your first bonsai. That is a very critical first step to get you started the right way. So what we'll do in this particular video is I'll tell you how we implement our bonsai. I believe we implement them particularly well for easy caring and maintenance and longevity. And if you follow that, you can then also follow our instruction on how to care about bonsai. And so I'll go into a little bit more detail, and so that you can duplicate what we do to create the best bonsai that you can get to start off right. Being in business, I also to say, consider getting one of our bonsai at the same time. So you do both. This way, you get to enjoy a bonsai that is done right the first time, to learn things that are the right way, and then also make your own bonsai to enjoy. Because there is a certain amount of joy and pride that you created the bonsai, and then it's all yours. Nonetheless, if you start with a bonsai you bought, and then you work on it for a few years, it is your bonsai because it reflects your thinking and your philosophy. So the process I'll describe, I'll summarize, is to basically take out a bonsai from your growing pot, shake it off, and get the good soil mix. Because the bonsai pot is very shallow, you want to make optimal use of the soil that's available there. And then you put a little bit of soil underneath of a thin layer, and then you put the bonsai in by clipping off some of the overgrown roots. You won't have any problem if you grow your tree over time and cut back the roots over time, so that there will be plenty of fiber roots for you to put in the bonsai pot. And then you really have to put in the good soil mix that we recommend, and then press it down. And what you do is you use a finger and make sure the bottom has no voice, and then also press down to make sure it's firm. You can only go so far on that. So what you do is you do that, and then you soak it with water, in a sense, water a lot, and then add soil and poke it again until it's totally firm after a couple of times, 3 times. I don't actually recommend what most people do, which is use a chopstick, which I think is really silly, because you're creating holes at the same time, and not only that, you break the roots. You really don't need to do that. If you press it down and water it, soil will fill the voids, and then you press the air out, it will be very firm. It's really important to firm up the soil so that it's in close contact with the roots. And after that, you might have damaged some roots, so put it in the shade, cut back to balance, and when the new growth starts, then you put it in full sun, and you will see buds sprout very vigorously in 3 to 4 weeks, and then you put in the full sun. So getting to more detail then, the material you need is soil, and of course, pot. We also emphasize the root pruning screen in the tools you need, which is really nothing more than a clipping tool, and then the fertilizer. I think the importance of soil is often overemphasized. Considering you have hydroponic where there's no soil, to really the kind of a really rich organic material, grind up wood chip for planting most of the house plant these days, which really is terrible because they grow them well by dripping. And when you take them home, you just really can't keep them moist because water just runs right out. So you know, anything works so long as you keep the soil moist. And the grower basically, in a case using porous organic, cheap porous organic material, is by dripping and using slow release fertilizer. You don't do that at home typically. So what you do is to take their mix, add probably 2 parts of topsoil. The organic material is good. You put it back. Now you are much more able to retain moisture. And then, so that's what you can do. Of course, what we do is we use sandy loam, which you can get from landscaping places. Sandy loam, top garden soil mixed with equal parts of wood chip or peat moss, in a sense, organic material for retaining moisture and provide air porosity. And then also 1 part of perlite for good measure in terms of keeping porosity. With that then, if you water once a day, you'll be fine. Sorry, a little bit of repetition along the way to reinforce the point. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video so far. We got a lot more going on. This is about halfway. Please click like if you like my content, and subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, and more importantly, go to our website and sign up to become a VIP for goodies. On the other hand, you never overwater your plant. And so the bonsai pot, remember the bonsai pot is very shallow. And you water every day, the tree's very happy. But one hot day, the roots dried out and root ball shrinks, hardened, and water runs out of side. The root ball doesn't get water. So with that in mind then, you really want to occasionally, there's nothing lost by soaking your bonsai, putting in a tub, in a sense of like a take-home tray, you know, take-out tray, a food tray, and you poke a hose, so let the water sit that much above the bottom of the pot, and it will get absorbed in a few hours and evaporate. So the roots will never get rancid in the sense that they'll get rotten because there's no retaining water that's rotten. You see, a tree get rained on for months at a time, they don't die because it's only when they sit in rotten water that the roots rot. So with that in mind then, I think you're in great shape. Now, let me go over now even a little bit more detail. I think I covered soil. And then the other thing you want to do is to put it in a bonsai pot or put it in a pot. And my recommendation is not to put in a bonsai pot because you wanted to have more soil for the roots to have some flexibility to get what it wants. And that will fatten up the trunk faster. You can see someone keep a bonsai in a little bonsai pot, very healthy. After 10 years, they're skinny little things. Whereas the same tree is grown in a growing pot, in 10 years, it'll be a stout bonsai. So with that in mind then, you really want to grow in an oversized pot and then gradually move them to smaller bonsai pots. Then, of course, you choose a pot that is appropriate for the design of the tree. One additional thing that we really recommend is the root pruning screen. When you think about it, what happens is the roots growing, they tend to grow strong roots. They wind up curling in the bottom of the pot, and you see that a lot. They're called root bounding. And pretty soon you have a solid lump of wood because the roots all fused together. And water no longer can penetrate, there's no more soil to penetrate. So with that in mind then, what we recommend, copying the innovation of nursery people, is to put a mosquito screen underneath the pot, in a sense, inside the pot. So when the roots grow out into the bottom of the pot, they get girded by the little grid. And then they form fibrous roots up on top, and there's no big roots to circulate around the circle around the pot. And with that, you rarely have to repot. For rigorous growing elm, you may have to. That would be like every 5-10 years. But you don't have to do it every couple years for most of the bonsai trees. So I cover soil, I cover pot, I covered the root pruning screen. And now let me talk about, repeat a little bit more about potting, which I really said is to firm up the soil without using chopstick. And then about maintenance, I said put them in a soaking pot from time to time. And finally, the question asked is, how should I fertilize my plant? Well, it is not horribly important to fertilize your plant because there's always some residual fertilizer. But not only that, the organic material that you have, especially if you use something like wood chip, they compose gradually to provide some nutrients. But I think it's good to as well use up your excess houseplant fertilizers. And given there's very little shallow pot, half the concentration, but more frequently because it gets washed out quickly as well. So maybe every month or every couple of months, a half dosage of houseplant liquid fertilizer. I personally prefer to use chicken manure pellets. They're very clean, they're smellless. I wear a glove to spread them. About 1 pellet per square inch. You can get it from Amazon. And every month, in a summer month, every other month in cooler months, and none during the winter months. And the other very good material is what I always like to use is that for established bonsai is fish emulsion with kelp. It's got all the micronutrients. I water the half concentration once a month, or once a week actually during the summer, and then once a month during the cooler months, and every 3 months during the cooler months, and none during the winter months. And finally, I think the slow release fertilizer is great. You don't have to get fancy ones. They almost work all the same with similar composition. I use a cheap lawn food, Best, 15-15-15 fertilizer with micronutrients. Bonsai thrives like crazy. I think the Bonsai 101 series, my ambitious goal is that it will become a very valuable resource for you to get all the information you need. And we will get them posted in a Bonsaipedia and have the chatbot for you to get your answer instantly. We're customer oriented. We want your business. And if we want your business, we've got to solve your problem. So please consider buying one of our bonsai to make me happy. And also, please subscribe to our channel, go sign up to become VIP so we send you announcements. With all of that, I thank you very much. Please click like to give me some encouragement, and I see you next week. Well, thank you very much for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel and tell a friend. And most importantly, go to our website and sign up to become our VIP so that we can send you announcements of special considerations. Thank you very much. See you next week.